Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. In past competitions, we've had smiths come in here and we've asked them to layer steel so that they could create Damascus patterns like Raindrop, Ladder, and Sharktooth. And today, we're gonna ask a similar task of you guys, except we don't want just one of these patterns, we want them all. What we have here are the bits and pieces of pattern Damascus billets that are Raindrop, Sharktooth, and Ladder pattern. And you'll have to take these bits, load them into the cans, combine that with powdered steel to create a Fossil Damascus billet from which you will forge your signature blades in your signature style. Good luck, gentlemen. Your 3 hour starts now. How difficult is this challenge?
Honestly, you've got really good steels you're working with. The biggest challenge is packing everything into that can. With all these different size pieces and shapes, they've got to make sure that they're filling in all the gaps with that 1095 powder, or they're just not going to get it well.
The only way I have any clue on how to do canister Damascus is from watching a video that Jay Nielsen put out. So I'm going to try my best to do what he did. Jay used whiteout, I'm going to use whiteout. Jay inset his top cap on the canister, I'm going to inset my top cap on the canister.
Smart work. Actually makes the canister a lot more structurally strong.
I decide to go with the small cubes. My thought is it's less material per one and it'll heat up faster. And then from my experience, a smaller piece is actually easier to compact and make it one solid billet.
Why would you peel 2 cans when you can peel 1?
Doesn't make any sense to me.
So I have one canister in the forge right now. We're heating up while I'm getting the other one prepped and put together, so that way we'll hopefully get a cycle going, so both of them will be good. Take them apart, forge weld them together, shove a knife.
I am notorious for working messy.
God, it's a mess.
Wilson's like smearing whiteout all over everything, man. It's
like a Van Gogh painting over there.
What are you doing to our table over there, man?
I'll clean it up.
All right.
So I take my super hot canister over to the squaring dies on the hydraulic press, and I want to squish it down a little at a time, and I'm gonna keep going until this is solid.
That's how you do it. That's how you set your welds. Get that square can, you're pushing all 4 sides at the same time, compressing everything evenly.
Teddy has 2 small cans that he's dealing with.
So I grab the first can, just smash, smash, smash. The second one, same thing. I'm excited. You can tell by the way it's smashing, that thing's fill set. It's gonna be good.
I can't wait any longer.
Here goes nothing.
Woo, that's hot. I give it a good press all the way down. I turn it 90 degrees. I do another press all the way down. I do a pass on the big blue.
That rod is hot as a $2 pistol.
Normally at home, I do at least 2 passes on the squaring dies. But I go with my gut that it's a good weld. Oh, that can's hot.
I still don't believe that those welds are consolidated in that billet he's got after one run on the press. Wilson still got problems up in that blade from that initial weld.
So if Wilson's billet does have some cracks in it, is it best to chop him up and try to forge weld him all over again?
I try to grind them out. Just get rid of them. Make them disappear. Then you can stretch it out.
I know that I can't grind it out. To me, my only option is to try to weld it.
We got Wilson over here welding, and welding is a bad thing at this point.
Yeah, it's not a good sign.
Man, Jesse's got a cool-looking blade.
Yeah, I like it. And we got a quench blade.
Heavy quench.
We have 3 quench blades out there on the forge floor. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This first round of competition is over.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test. We got the bone chop here. Now I'm gonna take each of your blades and I'm gonna baton them through these very large, very dense bones. Now, what your blades do to the bones, I'm not too concerned about. I want to see what the bones do to your blades. Teddy, you ready to rock and roll?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. Good job, Teddy. Your edge is fine. I mean, there's a couple tiny little glints I can see on the edge, but overall, good job.
Thank you.
How you feeling, Jesse?
I'm ready.
Good, so am I.
Go nuts.
I'm halfway there already. Nice job, Jesse.
Thank you.
You did lose a little bit of your fine edge, but overall, nice, fairly comfortable. You survived. Good job.
Thank you.
How you feeling, Wilson?
I'm ready for you to do whatever Jay does.
This is what I do.
Let's do it to it. Yes. Unbelievable.
Good job, Wilson. Made it through.
Made it through.
The only thing I see, there's not much edge, pretty much from here up.
Okay.
But striking the bone, didn't roll anything, didn't chip it out. Good job.
Thank you.
Dave?
All right, gentlemen, you've survived our strength test. Now it's on to the sharpness test, the apple slice. Now, unlike the strength test, this is all about what your blades do to those apples. Looking for a good, clean cut. Teddy, you're up first. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So, Teddy, your knife is definitely sharp, but if you look at the tip, it's kind of got a warp this way. It's flat on one side and it's ground on the other. When I hit those apples, you can actually see it in the apples. It just goes whoosh and rides right up and out of them. It affects the cut, but it doesn't affect the fact that this is still a sharp blade. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, Jesse, you're up next. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Man. All right, Jesse. There's some damage to this edge, and it's a really obtuse edge. You can see that the slice kind of goes halfway through that apple, and it cracks it off after that just because the blade gets so wide. Not the sharpest thing on the planet, but it'll do it. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Wilson, you're up.
Cut it.
Okay. So yeah, it is sharp, but it's just wedging them apart. And yeah, I could probably chop wood with this, but for slicing apples, it's just got the wrong edge geometry.
I understand.
Bladesmiths, the judge's deliberation is complete. They've made their final decision. It's time for one of you smiths to leave the forge. The bladesmith leaving the forge is Wilson. Your blade didn't make the cut, and David Baker's going to tell you why.
Wilson, your blade's heavy, it has an obtuse edge, and it was really designed only for one of our tests. But before we let you go, I want to tell you that rarely have we seen a smith work so hard to get around what looked like insurmountable problems. You pushed to the very end, made it through that strength test, and I'm just really proud of what you did.
Thank you.
Wilson, please surrender your blade.
This has been an excellent experience. It showed me that I have the drive to keep going and going, even when things are not turning out right and are not going to turn out right. But you have to do the best you can and keep going at it.
Jesse, Teddy, congratulations. You boys have made it to the final round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate this. This is a Musketeer's Rapier.
Oh, dear.
Next up, I'll be pre-testing the Musketeer's Rapier. Your rapier's supposed to be light swords. I'm expecting at least a lot of harassing cuts. Harassing cuts are to be able to move at a distance and just cut, deep cuts with a tip. So the movements that we do are light movements, light cuts, so that later on we can go in for the finish.
Originating in the early 1600s, the Musketeer's Rapier was the distinctive weapon of the colorful French musketeers of the Guard. These elite troops were the first line of defense for French royalty. Featuring a thin diamond profile blade that tapers down to a point, its extreme lightweight made it excellent for quick slashing cuts and pinpoint stabs. In addition, The weapon's double clamshell guard aided in defense by protecting the user's hand, especially during one-on-one duels. Tales of the swashbuckling musketeers are world famous to this day and can be seen in the film The Three Musketeers.
We use a pig carcass because it's something that we can understand when we see the cuts. It's very close to just basically its skin. Some other mediums have a very thick hide, a lot of hair, so you can't really see the cuts. With a pig carcass, when you cut like that, you can see the immediate damage that it does. It's very visual. When I'm using the rapier, I'd like to see all these nice cuts as I'm moving them around. For every movement, pop. Ooh, that simple move like a whip has a very deep cut. So the patterns we see on the pig is like just writing a canvas. This is what we do, this is the motions, and these how deep the cuts are. Now, it's awesome to see these musketeer blades cut a pig in half, but in reality, they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to be that heavy. Some of the tests, we go, wow, that really performed well, but it's not supposed to function that way. If it's a heavy sword, you're just gonna leave it at home.
Good luck, gentlemen. We'll see you in 4 days.
I'm speechless. Good luck. Holy crap. My name's Teddy Royer, and I'm a welder for an excavation company. My wife puts up with a lot, a garage with a forge and not enough room for her car, so she's hoping I win to show it's not wasted garage space, it's useful.
So I'm using 5160. It's tough, it's springy. The rapier, since they're so thin, they are meant to flex a little bit, so that's what we're going with.
I've got the entire blade shaped, it's beveled. I'm satisfied with where I'm at. It's not biting, it's not skating quite right. I realize I have to requench, I have to reharden this. I just want to make sure that when it gets to the judges, it's going to survive whatever they throw at it.
Not seeing any warps, so that is without a doubt hard.
The elements I have to get finished are the knuckle bow, 2 sidebars, and a pommel.
There's your knuckle bow.
The finish that I'm going to put on it is going to look rugged, but clean, pretty, and just an overall well-constructed piece. $10,000 worthy, no doubt.
Jesse Ewing's my name, 34 years old, and I kill bugs for a living. Pest control, good stuff. I know that to come on Forge and Fire is a huge undertaking. However, I know that I have the skills and passion to go all the way. So I'm gonna go with bar stock size of 80 CRV2, super strong, should hold up very well to the testing. That's gonna be the hardest part because I don't know what it has to survive. With all the factors involved in this quench, the low roof of the garage, the tall quench tank, a ladder just to reach above it, I'm hoping that I can get it right the first time. Ah, damn it! Catastrophically, the sword drops out of my hands. I hear the tip hit the bottom of the tank. I pull the sword out of the quench. I see this huge bow. I gotta get this thing in my straightening jig. I have no idea what's gonna come out. I'm really scared, I'm really nervous, hoping for the best and praying for a miracle. So the sword's cooled off in the straightening jig. Let's see if I just performed a miracle here. It's time to open it up and see what's inside. Holy crap. There's slight warpage on there, but nothing crazy that I can't fix with a grinder. She's hard. I've never made a sword before, so I'm ecstatic right now. So with my blade mostly done, and I've already got the clamshell guard fitted out. Guard fits. For this handle, I'm gonna go with a nice hardwood and offset that with different color micarta and then epoxy together so I can shape it off of the sword. Oh gosh. I go to remove the handle and she's stuck. I really don't know what the heck to do at this point. Seriously contemplating taking this thing to the bandsaw, and I look at the sword and the rear part is separated. I think I can save this. Try it again, second time. Oh, imagine that. And that's how it should have went the first time. Yeah, that came together pretty nice. With the time I got left, I'm gonna start shaping all these quillions and knuckle bows and all that frou-frou stuff on the handles. The blade itself, I'm pretty much happy with the geometry of it, but I want to see if I can remove some weight at the tip. I want Doug to be swinging that thing all over the place and having a good time with it. Now that everything's permanently fixed, just gotta clean it up, sharpen it up a little bit. I can't wait to see the judges test this thing.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. I'm gonna take your rapiers and deliver some killing slashes and thrusts on this big carcass. For these musketeer swords, it's time to find out if you're all-for-one champion or one for all the runner-ups. Jesse, you're up first. You ready for this?
Let's cut some bacon. Dude, you gotta work out.
All right, Jesse, this edge is sharp. A rapier cut a pig in half? That's very interesting. For every slash, the edge lands exactly where I want it to be.
Okay.
Overall, sir, for this test, it will kill. All right, ready, Teddy?
Let's do it.
All right, Teddy, your edge. When you're slashing with the razor's edge that you have on your blade, it slices easily and deeply on this big carcass. Your weapon, sir, will kill.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test, a little thing I like to call the wheel of pain. Now, a rapier needs to be a fast, light, flexible weapon. We're gonna see how flexible yours are. All right, Jesse, so I've got your blade strapped into our wheel of pain right now. Now, I'm going to be flexing it in both directions. I'll be taking it all the way to that far red peg, holding it for about 3 seconds, and we'll see if it comes back true, and then we're going the other direction, all right?
Go nuts.
It's back to true, dude.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, Jesse, first off, remarkable. I mean, there's a lot of weight in this blade, a lot of mass. So to have it flex the way it did and come back virtually to true, this blade is still straight enough to fight with, which is excellent.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Teddy, you ready for this?
Let's do it. There's a pretty significant bend in the blade. I'm definitely terrified at this point.
So, Teddy, you can see where it took the bends here and here. And the initial bend, it actually bent this way, and then we bent it back, and it went the other way. So it leaves some question about the heat treat, you know, how even it is through the blade. You know, it's just, I worry about that bend. So guys, It's a finesse weapon. These things are about speed and accuracy and light and fast.
Bladesmiths, a Musketeer's Rapier is a finesse weapon, and Teddy, unfortunately, a less than perfect heat treat has led to your rapier taking a permanent bend. Now, this is going to affect accuracy when it comes to the use of the weapon in our sharpness test. And for that reason, this is a catastrophic failure, and you cannot continue with this competition. Come on forward, my friend.
I've had a blast. I've made a few good friends. I've been able to take time and build something I otherwise wouldn't have built, so the experience has been great.
Jesse, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion, and that is the title that comes with a check for 10 grand. Good job, brother.
I'm on cloud 9. This is probably the most fun I've ever had doing hard labor. I proved to myself that I'm capable to do a whole lot more than I thought I could.
Bladesmiths, check this out. Forged in Fire! I can't carry tuna in a bucket with a lid on it, but I can tell you that here in this first round of competition, you will use this set of heavy metal band equipment and combine that with another heavy metal. There's a cloth on top of your anvils. Go ahead and lift that up. That is W1 round stock that you will have to combine using a sand mine technique with the mild steel from these instruments to forge a signature blade in your signature style with a through tang. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your time starts. 3, 2, 1, now! Out here on the forge floor, these guys are raging against the machines as they try to complete sand mine billets.
First thing I grabbed is some cymbals.
Brass won't forge weld with hard metals, and it looks like Jerry is going to use the brass cymbal.
No. Oh my God, he's got the cymbal.
Yeah, that's the whole
man,
thing.
I love it.
Dave.
No. Wait a minute. Why is that cymbal throwing sparks?
He's cutting something off the bottom of that.
No, he's cut through the cymbal. The cymbal's throwing those sparks. What?
Well, then that cymbal isn't brass.
What is that cymbal made of then?
That's coated steel or something.
I'm thinking I need to find the biggest, thickest pieces of steel I can come up with.
So Brent, over on his workstation, has the guitar stand, which is made out of a lot of pieces of steel.
I want to make all 3 pieces match as close as I can, thickness-wise, so they heat evenly.
I'm rotating my mild steel in and out on the forge, and I'm heading to the press. And it's just playing this game, leapfrog, the whole time. Playing leapfrog with my steel.
Thomas is being really meticulous about cleaning up those thin bits of mild steel.
I like to see clean steel, but I don't like to see people waiting an hour to clean it.
I'm worried that if I don't get my steel clean, I can get a bunch of big delamination marks. At one point, I realized I only need to clean up the side that's actually going to stick to my high-carbon steel. But it's just taking a lot more time than I'd like.
Look at that banana. Brent's got a hot banana.
As I'm setting my welds, I see my blade start to take the infamous banana shape.
What he did was take a big flat piece of steel and put a little piece of mild top and bottom. As you flatten that all out, the extra steel stretches more than the other steel, and so it starts to curve round and round and round.
So I'm constantly having to take the banana out. I'm in that chasing my tail game right now. But I'm able to keep up with it. It didn't get away from me. I could manage it.
So Thomas heading over to the welding station, finally. So he's trying to get his weld set up.
I realized that the piece I tack welded onto the steel, the side that I cleaned up is on the outside. And I think trying to clean it up is just going to take way too much time. So I decided to just run with it and hope for the best at this point.
Oh, that didn't look good. Thomas's blade, when he was just hammering it, it looked like a whole section just blistered. That wouldn't surprise me at all, that thin material.
All you can do when something blisters like that is you have to cut a groove or drill a hole or something to allow that gas to escape.
Okay.
And then weld it back again.
I just put a slit in it, so we'll see if it takes.
I got this thing forge welded together, so I go and start getting a knife shape.
So with heavy metal music, Is there a slow version? Because Jerry is moving at his slow tempo. That heat must have fatigued him a lot.
Yours is more the Pink Floyd, I think. It didn't quite hit the heavy metal.
Lots of things can go wrong in the quench, so I want to have enough time left to correct any errors or anything that might pop up or off in the quench.
Brent just went for a quench with an hour to go. Good for him.
Yeah. Sounds like a pretty good file test to me.
What's going on, Jerry? How you feeling, man?
Fine.
Are you drinking water out there?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
I think the heat's getting to him. Let's keep an eye on Jerry.
I forge welded the bubble, and everything is looking good. I heat it just to that right perfect temperature and go in for the quench. I'm just trying to keep a death grip on that knife so I don't drop it in there. That's the one thing my wife said is don't drop the knife in the quench tank. All right. I didn't drop it.
Bladesmiths, 30 minutes. Jerry just quenched. I mean, he had all of those really thin sections of cymbal, and we didn't think that that was gonna forge weld up, and look at him go.
Jerry up the tempo. Look at those sparks.
Man, he's really going at it. 20 minutes, Bladesmiths.
Jerry is taking the slowest method possible to do this guard. I mean, we have Dremel bits over there that are very fast, and Jerry's got a chainsaw file and slowly connecting the holes.
Honestly, I was right where he was. I'd be sweating.
I'm just getting this guard filed out, and things started going wrong. I'm lightheaded.
Yeah.
They're asking if I'm okay.
I'm not. Okay.
Something wrong going on with Jerry right now.
Somebody get Jerry a chair.
You know where he's at? You know what's going on?
Get him off his feet.
Come on, you're gonna sit down, okay?
Jerry is not looking good.
There we go.
I don't think Jerry's out here quitting on himself. I think he's pushed himself to the point of physical and mental exhaustion.
Absolutely.
And it's just taking its toll right now.
I just realized that the smartest thing for me to do is go over and sit on the couch and get oxygen and take care of myself.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This second round of competition is over.
Good job.
Where's Jerry at?
Where are you at? I look around to see Jerry.
We didn't know if he'd finished early. We didn't have any idea that he had to be taken off the floor like that.
Bladesmiths, each of you was to have finished a 12 to 14-inch signature blade with a steel guard and pommel. Brent, looks like you've got a solid blade there with a nicely finished walnut handle. Thomas, you've also got a complete knife with a micarta and steel setup on the handle. Jerry, unfortunately, since you didn't finish your blade, there will be no testing round today. What happened out there?
Well, I was exhausted from the first round, just totally dehydrated, and thought, man, I'm sweating, and I need to go over and get a drink of water. Next thing you know, I'm going out. I'm not a young guy, so I thought I was up for the challenge, and I was close.
Well, Jerry, you fought hard through that first round, but unfortunately, you just didn't finish your work. And for that reason, I have to ask you to please shake our hands, and then please leave the forge. Come on forward, my friend.
This is not easy, man. You know, I thought I was in shape, working out, getting ready for this thing. I mean, it takes a lot of the physical, mental ability to do something like this. So I may not be the Forge and Fire champion, but it was a great experience.
Brent, Thomas, congratulations. You've made it into the third and final round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate this iconic weapon from history. The Tizona del Cid.
Oh, my.
What is that? Looking at the blade, I see this super ornate guard and pummel, and I'm thinking, how can I get all this detail into it and make it strong and functional?
Good luck, Bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
Good luck, brother.
Good luck. Today I have to make El Cid's Tizona. I'm getting the tang drawn out, but I noticed the tang is getting twisted, and I'm really worried at this point because this could cause a lot of stress. I will definitely have a little catching up to do tomorrow.
We're here in West Virginia. Let's get these burners burning. El Cid's blade is a very light blade. I'm really concerned about how I'm going to keep it at that weight. After a few hours of forging, I finally have my piece at the length. Climb up on my little stepping stool, and I can barely get the tip of this blade into the quench. Quench went all right. Tomorrow, I'll move on to the pretty stuff.
It's day 2, and I am gonna start over. It's pedal to the metal. I've gotta hurry. I absolutely need to quench this blade tonight, or I am gonna be drastically behind. So I've got my blade forged out to the shape I want. I'm leaving my tang thicker than I need so that as I'm holding this gigantic long piece, it doesn't bend at the tang. Today, I got my blade forged and quenched. So happy.
Today's main goal is to get the guard assembly. A lot of artistic work involved with this piece. This is the kind of work I'm really used to, these little small twists and bends, basic blacksmithing. So I've got all my welding done now. It's time to clean this thing up on the grinder.
That is beautiful. I love that.
Right now, I've got the majority of my guard constructed. I have to add a little crossbar to weld on as a cross guard. For the pommel, I plan on just cutting a little cone out. I got it nice and sharp. My fit and finish isn't perfect, but I made this sword in 3 days. So even if you feel like you can't do it, just give it a shot. You really never know what's gonna happen.
Here we are, the last day of this build. Everything's progressed nicely so far. Now I'm going to start the mustard patina process. Basically, the vinegar in the mustard reacts to high carbon steel. The blade begins to slightly rust and wipe it off, and you have a nice little outline of where your mustard was.
All right, I am very, very, very happy with that. That is wild.
Before I see this blade off, I've just got to test it one time. And the blade just passes right through like hot butter. Eat your heart out, El Cid.
I got it done.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to the keel test. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapons will do, I will take your weapon, deliver some slashes and thrusts on this boar carcass. Brent, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it so my knees will stop shaking.
All right, let's do this. All right, Brett, let's talk about your Tizona here. The balance of this blade allows me to really move around with it. And it's a very sharp edge. Overall, this weapon is one that you can move and bring to combat, and it will kill.
Thank you, sir.
Good job. All right, Thomas, your turn. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right, let's do this. Your tip thrusts easy and cuts on the way out, and your edge, as you can see, same number of cuts cut all the way through. Your first sword, it will kill. Good job.
Thank you.
It's okay to be thrilled, kid.
Is it?
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test, the armored chop. To test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I'll be chopping into our armored knights here. Brent, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Brent, you've got a couple of chips and rolls. I don't know that it'll affect the performance of your blade. It's still sharp. As far as the design of your blade, that's a very slick handle. I like to not be able to do that as easily. But you did good. Strong sword, one piece. Good job.
Thank you.
Tomas, are you ready?
I'm ready. Swing away.
All right, Thomas, this has a really fine edge to it. And where it made contact, there are multiple rolls. It's that super fine edge just being pushed over as it hits that armor. It's an amazingly light sword for as wide as that is. That's very good work. I mean, it's a very broad blade, and it's got a very light feel to it. The handle on this, the wrapping on there, gives a good grip. It felt really good in my hand. Bottom line, it's a strong sword, held up beautifully. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, this is the sharpness test, the fish slice. To test the edge of your weapon, I will slash away at these salmons. Brent, you're up first. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Good job.
All right, let's talk about your sword here. Cut all the way through the fishes except for that. It's a sharp edge. All the cuts here are very clean. Overall, sir, you'll cut.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Thomas. Ready for sushi?
I am ready.
Let's do this.
It's really down to the wire at this point. If my blade doesn't perform as well as Brent's, I'm definitely out of this competition.
All right, Thomas. Every cut was clean all the way through. Once again, the edge here, despite some of the rolls it took earlier, have no issues in performance and quality of cuts. Overall, sir, it will cut.
All right, bladesmiths, the new Forged in Fire champion is Brent. Congratulations. You're the new Forged in Fire champion. Thomas, unfortunately, a setback in your home forge cost you a little bit of detail when it came to your final product. And for that reason, please leave the forge.
I'm super disappointed that I didn't win, but I came out here, I made a knife with a drum set, I made a sword for the first time. I'm just so proud of myself for having taken the risk, putting myself outside of my comfort zone, and right now I feel like a rock star.
Brent, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for $10,000. Good job, my friend.
Oh, it feels amazing. The adrenaline right now is just through the friggin' roof. I'd like to thank God for this opportunity, my wife for her support. Just thank you, everyone. I'm having trouble containing everything. There's so many emotions inside right now that I just want to let them all out.
Yeah!